Good afternoon to us all, and welcome to this presentation on investments. My name is Reverend Michael Obeng, and I'll be your facilitator for today. What is investing? Investing is putting your money instead of your muscle to work. We normally want to see that we are working when we are moving our muscles, we are moving up and down. But there's another way of working. That's when we have your money, you can put your money to work. And according to Charles G. Givens, if there is any area of managing and making money that most people foul up, not just once, but over an entire lifetime, it is investing. People can work for 40 years, and when they are going on retirement, they will start crying. They've been paid for 40 years, and they end crying and broke. What is the reason? There was a missing link there. Probably it's because either their investment went waste, or they didn't do any investments at all. So the subject of investment is very important, and we need to take a very look at it. And that's what we're going to do. In about 10 slides, I'm going to be over. You can ask questions. Then we'll move on to the next session. Investment has three major objectives. Normally, when you do savings, your savings will give you a return of about 6%, 8%. When that return starts getting to like 15%, then you can see that you're actually investing. So anything that you are doing that gives you a return of around 15% and more, not too much, that also leads to other problems that we have seen, especially in our country, where people want 50% returns and they have ended up losing their monies. So for safe investment return, it's around 15%, 20%. And if you are investing money, you should invest in such a way that there are no commissions. For instance, if somebody comes to you and says, I'm telling you how you can make investments, and my commission is 5%, already you are reducing your return. So if you can do an investment without coming into contact with a middle person, it's a better investment. So there should be no commissions for a good investment. Then it should also be without taxes. If whatever you are investing is being taxed all the time, then if your money is also eroding, at the end of the day, you end up with really less than what you anticipated. Now, powerful investing is one of the easiest of all strategies to master. But misinformation, lack of information, potential for loss, and outright fraud that exists in the arena of investing are enough to destroy any good financial plan. Normally, we come out with a plan, but there are factors that militate against this plan or the success of this plan. One of them is misinformation. They will not tell you the right thing. It's only when something goes wrong, then they begin to say that terms and conditions apply. You can't get this money because you didn't do this, because you didn't sign that, because you didn't say this. You were misinformed in thinking that investment was a good investment. So you have to make sure that when you are going to invest, we look at the information that we are being given very well. Or there's lack of information. Somebody says something has happened, let's do it. You also join in. At the end of the day, you realize that you have a problem with your financial plan. Or there's a loss of your investment. Something happens and then you lose your investment. Currently, the government is trying to recover some investments that have been lost. Investments can be lost. And then there's fraud, scams that come out when they are investing. They'll come and tell you very, very nice stories. When you do this, we will be giving you this, and then it becomes a big problem. So investment is a serious thing. That's why we need to look at it very carefully. And it is a lifelong thing that we should be doing. And the earlier we start investing, the better. Savers mostly die broke because of the pitiful 6 to 10% return that is easily eaten by taxes and by inflation. You hear somebody say, I'm saving. It's in my savings account. What is the percentage on your savings account? The best way to use your savings is to do what we call money farming. In money farming, you save. Let's say when you save to about 1,000, then you take it out and then you invest it. Then you save another 1,000, you take it out and then you invest it. But you don't put all your money just into a savings account for the rest of your life. It's going to be a very, very bad case for you. So you must understand that there's something called money farming, where you gather the money in your savings account, and after some time, when you get a sizable amount, then you plant it in investment. Then you gather a little bit more, then you plant it in investment. That way, you'll be farming money, and you'll be getting good returns on your investments. Smart savers learn to earn 20% per year safely with no taxes and no commission. You see, earning 20% or more is not a problem, but if whatever percentage is on it is still going to be deducted, then you're going to lose out. So in investing, you have to gauge at 15, 20, safely, save money. Sometimes it's a scheme that, maybe a Ponzi scheme. They say we'll give you 50%, but you're using your money to pay others. So at the time comes where there's no money for somebody and it becomes a problem. So don't just be interested in very, very high interest or high returns. Look for a safe return, and 20% is advised, and then maybe it's around that. Now, we said investment is letting your money work for you. So these are some types of investments that I recommend through my readings that will help you if you want to have a good financial future. If you don't have your own home, you must aim at building or getting your own home. When you have your home, the 2 years rent advance, all the problems that go, you can start as a tenant, but one of the things that you can do is not to remain a tenant for long. And you don't have to get your land in the middle of the city. Sometimes somewhere in the outskirts, you can be able to manage a fair amount, a parcel of land, and begin gradually and then put it up. Normally, you see that the city is always racing out to the suburbs. So once you start, in a matter of 10 years or so, you'll be part of the urban area. Look at Accra, and to give you a good example, look at even Takrady, look at Kumasi. You see that soon the urban area catches up with the city, with the suburbs. So just don't always concentrate on wanting something inside, because those ones are very expensive and you may not be able to catch up with the Joneses. Another important area of investing is an employer's retirement. That includes SNAIT, that includes other, what do you call that thing? Provident funds. They are very, very important, they are very, very good. The money grows, and by the time you go on retirement, you have quite some lump sum there to maybe start another business with or etc. Another important way to invest is in real estate, where instead of just buying a piece of land and just putting a big house for you and your children, very soon the children go away and there's this big house that nobody can maintain. But then if you have maybe flats or whatever, where eventually you can live in one, what happens is that then you can get money from the other rentals, and it's a very, very good way of investing. Another way of investing is what we call network marketing. Not everybody is good at that, but it has been observed that network marketing is a very, very good way of also investing. We'll be talking about some of these details later, but I'm just mentioning them for our research and for our inquiry. Another important way to invest is in appropriate education and in skill development. Sometimes the difference between having an HND or a degree or a master's with a professional qualification shoots your income, if you are in some sectors, so much that you realize that the amount that you used in going to school pays off within the shortest possible time, and everything else becomes a profit for you. So, or you learn a skill, learn how to maybe do some beading, learn how to do craftsmanship, something, and very soon people start paying for it, and you are in business. Then mutual fund margin account is also there. I don't want to talk about that one because the experts that will come and talk about them maybe one of our sessions where we'll be looking at mutual fund margin accounts. Then another important way of investing is when you can start your own business, either as an enterprise, as a partnership, or as a limited liability company. These ways, when you invest early enough, with time, you will do well by the grace of God. If you don't expect to win a lottery and you don't have the option of inheriting vast sums of money, you have only 5 ways to increase your wealth. Everybody starts from somewhere, but if you want to increase your wealth, there are 5 ways. If you don't expect to be a winner of 1xBet or national, whatever, the lotteries that they have, then there are 5 ways. Can we see those 5 ways in the next slide? These are the ways. Putting yourself to work. That's employment. When you work for somebody, you make some money. The other way is putting other people to work. Business. So when you put yourself to work, you are under employment. When you get other people to work for you, you are doing business. Then putting your ideas to work, which includes investing, marketing, and consulting. These are ways that can increase your wealth. Or putting your money to work. When you put your money to work, which is the subject of today's program, it is called investing. So you can invest your money. When you have money maybe from your employment, you can decide to invest part of it. And in so doing, you'll be increasing your wealth. And another one is putting other people's money to work, which you call leverage. Even the telcos have areas where you can borrow small monies to do things. For instance, if you want to do bidding, sometimes they give you between 20, 40, 50, even up to 200. And there are places where you can get maybe 1,000, 2,000. That is not your own money. But if you know how to turn it around, then you can be in business. You can start small, but the monies are available. As you pay and as you get back, and as you get your profits, you'll be increasing your wealth. Now, if you are an employee, there are at least 2 limitations that you need to understand why you need to do an investment. One, your success is directly tied to the success and attitude of your employer, over which you have no control. A lot of companies just run to a halt because of the recent pandemic. And your employer will tell you, we can no longer afford to pay you because we are in a pandemic. Or we are facing some challenges. So that is one of the limitations. If you are an employee, you can be told anything, anytime, and unless you want to go for litigation, you don't even have money. Why do you want to go and litigate also? So that is one of the limitations of having employment as your only way of increasing your wealth. The other one is your income and lifestyle are limited by your experience, your age, your education, the opportunity for advancement, and your ability to sell yourself on the job. If you are an employee, you can, if you want a good job, you can say, we are not taking anybody above 45. So you are qualified, but your age is a problem. Or you want a particular degree, education. Or you go into an employment and there's no progress. You are not promoted. You are just there. As other people are going, Supreme Court judge, district judge, they are just climbing. You are where you are for life. So when you see that, what you have to do is to make sure that part of your income is going into investment, so at least you can grow your investments to help you. Now, when you have the ability to borrow or to get other people's money, this is how you can use it. So, most of the time, people are afraid of borrowing, but there is good borrowing and there is bad borrowing. If you borrow just to buy clothes to wear, if you borrow to buy a car that you don't use for any business or going to work that pays you something, or you just borrow to go and eat in restaurants, that is bad. But there is good borrowing where you can borrow money for your business. Most businesses, sometimes they don't even have any money at all. They come and then they write a good business plan, and then the banks give them money, and then they use the money as well, and in no time, they do well. So this is how you can use OPM, other people's money. You can also borrow the equity on your home to invest. Once you are able to build a house or get a house, that house can be a collateral for you that you can use to attract money if you have a good business plan to use, and it's going to really be helpful. You can expect financial rewards from the use of borrowed capital. When you borrow a capital and you have a good plan, you can expect financial rewards. You can also buy a home with a mortgage. When you buy a home with a mortgage, the house is given to you upfront and you'll be paying over time. So you make some savings, eventually it becomes your own house. So it's also another way of using other people's money. Or you use a brokerage firm or mutual fund margin account. There are places like Data Bank and other places where, except that today in our country, we are being more careful. But as time goes on and as the financial sector is managed properly, this is also a very good avenue where you can use other people's money. Then you can invest in leverage limited partnerships. Sometimes your partner has some money and you have the technical know-how. So you can go into an agreement and then you get paid for it, and you'll be getting some money from somebody's already established business or something that you go into with somebody else. You can also take an option on a piece of real estate. Good, thank you. Good. So I think that this is a quick one on investment. Are there any questions you want to ask?
Yes, at times when you risk and then you grow, you show that the investment or the business is going to work for you. When you start and then you begin to face some challenges, you're not able to raise the money in your hands like the way you thought. What do you do in such situations?
Everything is risky. Everything is risky. Life itself is even risky because you end up not alive. When you want to have a child, it's a risk. When you want to leave your home. So the idea is not risking, but making sure that your risk is calculated risk. It's not everything that you start that will do well. That is how you get experience. And that is how you know why you shouldn't do this and why you should do the other one. For instance, as I'm talking right now, I know that what I'm talking about, as I discuss this subject, it opens my mind. So I've realized that it is not about the people who are listening, because they may not even put it into practice. But I myself, as I talk, I practice it. And so coming to pay money, there's a risk that nobody will come. Yeah. There's a risk that nobody will come. But how would you know whether somebody will come or not? You have to pay. And I just finished paying the first, so I'm going to pay for the next month. So today I wanted to discuss the idea of being led by the Spirit of God, which is also an important way. You see, for you to do well, there are a combination of factors. It's not only book or what you hear. There are instincts, the Holy Spirit, etc. Promptings. Hospital, go and do this. It may not look very likely. How many years ago? So a few years ago, I was told to do something, and everybody said, this thing will not work. But looking back today, the thing has worked and has overworked. So when you want to do an investment as a Christian, you should not do it on your own. You should not just follow people, what other people are doing. What I'm doing right now, I know exactly what I want to do and where I want to get to. So I've gone past the stage of letting the audience determine the success of what I'm doing. Because in another 10 years, this thing I'm doing will be a different story altogether. But you need to risk. Nobody has come. Will you do it again? I've been doing this since 2008. On, off, on, off, on, off. I'm still growing strong. And the things I've taught over the years, as I was reviewing, I've practiced them and they have helped me. So maybe people may not have come, but I, as an individual, have gained. That is why I always have the confidence of doing the presentations, because they affect me first. Because I have to learn, I have to research, I have to do all those things, I have to put into practice. The things I was listening to you about, I've learned not to use myself as examples over a period of time. But if it were in the past, I'll be telling you what I have done and what I have gained. Time has shown me that it's not the best way. So unless you come and talk to me and I want to give you a practical example, I may not display how helpful it has been. But these are tried and tested ways. So you need a big heart to go into business. And in economics, we say that the higher the risk, the higher the returns. So it is just good planning and allowing the Holy Spirit to guide you and listening to directions and listening to professionals also. A combination of things would let you do well. But you need to take a step, you need to take action. And definitely, those who don't do anything, they don't fail. But those who try and fail and try again, they are the people who succeed. So you have to choose whether you want to just be safe or you want to try and try and try and try until you succeed. Yes, sir. Yes. From the definition that we chose, if it is a good investment, should have about 15% of return. That's why I was saying that if you want to use your savings as an investment, then do money farming. You save the money, then you take it and then you put it into an investment plan. Let's say you save 1,000, you have a piece of land. Then you use it to do blocks. Then you save another 1,000. Then you use it to buy sand. Because you can't buy blocks and sand at 100 Ghana cedis will not buy. But 100, if it becomes 1,000, you can buy a trip of sand. Then you do the savings again, then you buy your stones. Then you do the savings again, then you pay your masons. So by the time you are in the 6th month of doing that thing, you will see the result of your investment. Yeah, so if you are using savings, then you are using it for money farming. Because sometimes you not get the money, it's not a good investment. Well, if you save, let me give you an example. If you save, let's say you're giving 6% interest, and inflation is 11%, it means that your money will be reducing. Your money will be 1,000, but in real value, very soon it becomes 700 without having touched it, because inflation is eroding the money. So what that money can buy in 2 years, in another 2 years, it cannot buy it again. The same thing. But in an investment, in another 2 years, the thing would have grown. Let me give you one example. Some time ago, I know somebody that bought a piece of land at 1,000 Ghana cedis. Then the land, the person couldn't build. So the land was there for I think about 8 years. Then something happened and they wanted to sell the land. The land was sold at 30,000. The land had appreciated without touching it. But if it were money in the savings account, it would have just gone down. So that's the difference between just ordinary savings and an investment. Investment without commission and without taxes, you see your money growing. While the savings, the money will just be there and save, but you can't do much with it in the future. Yes, please.
Is there a possibility for an investor to earn more than 50% investment?
What type of business will give you 50% interest? The possibility is there, but it is very rare and it's very risky. Let me give you an example. I know a friend that used to go to Lome to buy t-shirts when we were in Legon. The t-shirts, if they sold at 10 cedis in Lome, if they came to Ghana, you could sell them at 40 cedis. Because Lome has a free port. So if you're able to get the taxes that are on the thing, it wasn't too much also. So when you cross from Lome to Ghana, you could make more than 50. So there are real things that can get you that, but they are very rare. It's possible. Everything is possible. But sometimes you just begin to suspect that this thing, if it sounds too good, you may have to look into it a little bit well. Yeah. And all those people who have tried, the DKMs, the PMs, the men's golds, that did those things, they really were very happy with it until something happened. Then they realized that it was a scam. So, an investment that's about 20%, you can be sure that this one is a little bit real. As it goes higher, you begin to question it. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Once you invest, you get the dividend that you need to meet the condition.
Yes.
And in this era where people are throwing all sorts of information, whether on WhatsApp, whether on the news, everything, what must you do to get the genuine information? You invest like
I think that we must have study groups. Like if you are doing a master's program, most of the program is by discussion. So like we meet here and someone says, okay, now I want to show you, like some guys are coming here today. They're going to tell us about an investment they think we should do. I'm not going to talk about it. When they come, we just listen to them very carefully. So what we'll do is that as we are here, we have become students of investment, students of financial planning. So we do research and we practice them, and then we'll come and contribute to the pool of knowledge. If you bring your idea and I feel like it's not true, I'll say, okay, let's investigate, let us find out. So there is security in numbers and in research. So definitely, people are always planning things, so we should also become wiser. That is why it is not good at all just to be staying there and only going to church and praying. And you see, after going to church for how many years, I've seen that you will not automatically do well just by going to church. I've seen that. No, whether it's true or it's not true, I have seen it. That is how I realized that Christians are very nice people, but also very naive, because we don't study. We don't want knowledge. We want magic. We think that just sowing a seed in church and not doing anything outside will make us do well. Because somebody told us that. Meanwhile, Abraham had cattle. Abraham had access. Abraham had all sorts of things that we're using, and God was multiplying them. Everybody that did well had a source of business investment. So you see, the investment idea is not even something outside the scriptures, except that our eyes have not been open to it. When Jacob wanted to do well, it was investing. He came to a negotiation agreement with, whatever it is. So the potential to do well is within the confines of the Christian space, except that the wisdom to do well is not coming, or some people are protecting it. So I believe that as we come together, as we become more conscious, as we read more about, there are books to read. The Richest Man in Babylon is there. Think and Grow Rich is there. The Millionaire Next Door is there. Rich Dad Poor Dad is there. So there are people who have done things and have gone through things. As I was reading this, I was talking to you about Charles Givens. These are people who have lost money, done it again, and then come out with that. These are the facts.
Please, I'm not cutting you. What you are teaching us now, I realize that it is rather missing in the church. We don't have these qualities, or even if they are there, they are not allowed.
You can't do it in church. It's not that it's supposed to be done in church. That's why I did in a hotel.
These are the things we need.
So you come to the hotel, invite your friends. You see that people will not come. If I said I was doing a prophetic program, then this place would have been full. That is why I'm also not worried. See, I'm not worried. Because I know exactly, I've done, for the past 20 years, I've been researching these things and I've been practicing them. Most of the things that I talked to you about, I've just removed myself from it now. But a lot of the things that I've mentioned, I've been practicing, and I know that I've seen it work and it's working. So please, organize people, tell people about this program. I will sponsor it every month so that I can open people's eyes and they'll do well. It's hot, eh? It's blowing heat. It's 16:02. Okay, we are going to close very soon because of that. Oh, let's open the weekly verse. Yeah. Any other questions? So, yes, Kofi. Sit down.
How do you know that this particular business you are willing to invest your money in is safe and it doesn't have any losses pending or any? How do you track it?
One, by learning about it, as I'm teaching you. Two, by reading about it. Three, by talking to people who are in that area about it. You see, this when we call it a knowledge-based economy. Whatever you are doing, you need the knowledge. You see, and then before, when the Bible said, for lack of knowledge, I will perish. You think about what about knowledge it is. It means that anything that you want to do, you must have knowledge about it. Before we got here, Richie and I have been talking. How are we going to record the thing? How are we going to do this? Discuss, will you buy an iPhone? I can't buy an iPhone now. Do this. And then Ruka said, forget about this. Just concentrate on me. And you try, so you have to think. You have to use, you also have to pray. You have to be led. When you are walking in town, and God says, Kofi, buy this bicycle. And you know it's the voice of God. He said, look at where I live in Biahon. What do I need a bicycle for? If you buy it, you realize that the Biahon they will pay 50 pesos to ride a bike from here to there. Every day, you make 5 CDs. 5 CDs times 30 days. Times 1 year. Or, Kofi, make a table tennis board and buy the set. And then go and put it somewhere. Anybody that will play will pay 20 pesos. Do you see? Or even your own bicycle that your money bought for you. You go and use it for rental. No, you see, if you are going to be rich, you can't be rich by being holy. No. You can't be rich by being holy. But this is the beginning. As we come, I'm sure you're going to learn more. And if you practice the little, I'll go to my second session, and I think we'll end. We'll not make it a very long meeting. This is a practice thing that I want us to be doing. It is not another university. where you go to get academic degrees. No, this is a school of street wisdom. I was selling bread in the university and people were laughing at me. But they've not seen a big man selling bread before. But do you know how much you make out of selling bread? So in this school, we want to do well, especially financially in other areas. And it is not just acquiring information. I've shown you how even you can do an investment. It can take you 3 months to buy the bicycle, or even 1 year to buy the bicycle. Then you take it to the what do you call football pitch. Then you go and stay. Go on, the money is finished. Well, you have to be careful. Don't go and steal money. All the complications. That's how the risky business. Somebody go and steal the money and then bring it. Okay. Yes, please. Yes.
You mentioned borrowing money for
Yes. No. No. All right. Let me give you. Let me ask you a question. Do you have a house? Where do you get the money to build a house?
This one is a long-term investment. But those ones that
Look.
go into it.
Listen. If you borrow 200 Ghana cedis, let's say 500 Ghana cedis, and you buy a just spray set, just spray set, yes. And you go to Yamaransa and you go and buy watermelon, and tell the person that I'll pay you your money in 3 months. If you have all the things that you need, all things being equal by the grace of God, you pay and you stop borrowing money. You see, business is an art or it's a science, whatever way you want to put at it. You just don't get up and then do things. But you can get up and do things. For instance, one day, somebody had a dream and saw something in a particular land. So he went and did exactly. So you see, getting money is wisdom, knowledge, spirit. Like I'm saying, it's a cocktail of things. Don't just go, don't get out. Why am I in Akroma? I could have been in TTU. And every time I'll be looking at the figures. TTU 150. Akroma 600. Why am I here? Because I've been advised. I'm not having quality. You see, when you're doing business, you have to be praying alongside. You see this book called How You Can Be Led by the Spirit of God. I've had this book for years. Look, you must search. Who wrote that one? My grandfather's friend. Yes, that is correct. You are calling as is your this thing. You see, you have to read. You have to not only read this one, but there are a cocktail of things that you need. Nobody just gets up and does well. Let me show you one investment I did that has nothing to do with money, but it can become money. Last year, my good friend Mr. Shen was going to have elections. I know a lot about politics. So I said, look, I'm going to make you win this election. And I told him, but the real reason why I'm going to make you win this election is because I only want to win an election the next year. And I'm very new in the system. People don't know me. You are known. So if I ride on your back, by the time we end, everybody will know who I am. Then it will be easier to win. That's happened. In 1 year, he has won his own. I also won my own. He's on council. I'm on academic board. And it didn't come by just, it's a plan. Right when I told him, let me tell you what I'm doing. Because you wonder why I'm not taking money. You know what am I sacrificing for? I said, look, I'm doing an investment. It's a political investment. So, let's do this. When the time came, and then they mentioned, everybody knew because of who I associate with. So we can succeed, but we have to think, we have to learn, we have to plan, we have to set goals. So you have to learn how to look. Other people's money. Let me give you another example. Susu. When my children were going to school, I was not even really working. I found some 500 Ghana cedis somewhere. Then I used it to attract other 500 Ghana cedis. And then I used it to pay my fees. And I was finding this one by one to be paying the Susu. I was using that thing. I don't have 500, but using other people's money, pulling the resources together, you are able to do 10 times what you couldn't do. It's called leverage. People are going to be rich. You have to know how to. People have money, they don't know what to use it for. If you can take it and use it and pay them interest, it's fine. For the past 3 years, I can't tell you how many loans I've taken, and I'll break them down. So now I have 25%, then I'll take it to 22%. Then I'll here another 18%, I'll just break this. And you will see if you are doing the right thing, you will see that you are getting better. And if you feel that it is too risky, fine, you'll be there. You will die like that. So, you see, it's also the group. You see, the way we are discussing, then you find a group that enjoys that one. That is how we became Christians. You don't know how we became Christians by going to church. So this is a development church where we come, we share the idea, we practice them, you will see that you do well. Richie, you do well. Just by association, just by connecting to each other. You don't need to be many. This is a club. We can just be there only doing this size. And we are interested in asking questions and things like that. And we'll progress. It's not about numbers. How long has it been on your heart?
I want to do it as an investment.
So how long has it been in your heart?
Since summer last year, I tried it.
Then what happened?
And I realized that it was good.
And then?
But how to take that bold step and get the facilities and move into it. I'm so
It's not a bold step.
around it.
It's not a bold step. Let's go to the next place and I think that all the time. What the thing? Let's go to my next slide. Let me pick it up. Very interesting. Yeah, I can close this one. Then go to